Ambassador, I thank you for joining us. My first question to you is this. Trump isn't mediating this war between Russia and Ukraine. Instead, Trump is putting his whole self, not his finger, onto the scale to tip it in favor of Vladimir Putin.
Tragically, that's exactly right. There's no other way to explain his behavior leading up to this tragic meeting yesterday. If you look at their negotiating strategy, all they've done is given concessions to Vladimir Putin. They told the Ukrainians they need to give up land. They told the Ukrainians you can't join NATO. They told the Ukrainians you have to pay us back for the aid we gave before. They're offering no new military or economic assistance. They're asking Putin to join the G7. I could go on. It's a long, long list. They voted with Russia at the United Nations and other autocratic regimes, and an extraordinary change of position for the United States of America. And so you're exactly right. There's no way to explain it. He says he's trying to negotiate, mediate an end to the war between Ukraine and Russia. But the evidence so far suggests that all he wants to do is have a new relationship with Putin. And whether there's peace in Ukraine or not is a very secondary matter for the president so far.
And notably, Ambassador, we saw stuff like former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev post on X calling Zelensky a, quote, insolent pig. And then you also have the Russians all over media saying, gloating over how Zelensky was treated. Ambassador, the only real practical kind of consequence of this treatment by Trump of Zelensky is to embolden Putin and Russia and to have them believe that once a superpower in America will not step in to help a democratically elected ally like Zelensky.
That is exactly right. And that is the fundamental thing that tragically President Trump does not understand about Putin. He somehow thinks by showing fealty and giving him gifts and talking about what a great leader he is, that he's going to have a relationship with him that will be good for the United States. It's exactly the opposite. I've dealt with Putin. I negotiated with those guys before, and they're tough negotiators. And if you give them an inch, all they do is take and ask for more. And that's why this is not just about Ukraine. This is about America's national security interests around the world. When we look weak, when we cave to a dictator like Putin, not only do we embolden him to be more aggressive in Europe, including perhaps against our NATO allies, but it emboldens other dictators around the world who might think, okay, the Americans, they're no longer in the game. We can take what we want and they'll do nothing. So I hope the president will understand this issue. And if he doesn't, I hope the American people understand this issue, because just because Trump wants to be on the side of the dictators doesn't mean that the rest of us need to follow him in that direction.
And, you know, I want to say the word diplomacy has been used a lot since yesterday. It's something you know intimately well. Trump's version of diplomacy includes excluding the affected countries, like sitting down with Russia and Saudi Arabia last month and not inviting Ukraine or Europe to the table for negotiations. I want to remind everybody tuning in as well. Trump did the same exact thing in February of 2020 when he signed an agreement with the Taliban and he excluded the Afghan government. And that Taliban deal gave everything to the Taliban and no way held them accountable when they predictably reneged time after time on that deal. How poorly does this bode then for Trump's version of diplomacy now for somebody like Zelensky trying to save his people in Ukraine?
Well, thank you for bringing up Afghanistan, because that is exactly the analogy that's here, right? We didn't even tell the president, the democratically elected president of Afghanistan, Ashraf Ghani, until the deal was already signed. It feels exactly like that, and it led to his downfall, as we know. And this feels exactly the same playbook. And I just hope that enough senators, Republican senators, might remember what they said just a few months ago about how it's vital to stand up to dictators and support democratic countries. I hope that the American people will make sure their representatives know that they do not support this, because this will be a disaster for Ukraine. And again, I want to emphasize, it'll be a disaster for America's place in the world more generally. The stakes really could not be higher. I
also am sad to say this, Ambassador, as I say, thank you for your time. that I think Trump has now adopted a policy of appeasement, and we all know what happens when appeasement occurs. Thank you, Ambassador Michael McFaul, for taking the time. I know you've been very busy since yesterday.
Thanks for having me.